And I'm Joab Magara.
You're watching How Did You Get There? So today on this show, we have an amazing man, and he is, honestly, I won't even go into much detail about what he's doing. Just know he's a serial entrepreneur. He has got about 3 or 4 businesses.
Wow.
And his age alone doesn't even match the things he's already accomplished. So I'm interested to hear his story and to hear how and what it took for him to be the Mike that we know today. His name, of course, is Mike. Come on, hi, Mike.
Hey, that was very kind of you. Thank you for saying that.
Honest, it's the truth. I only speak the truth. That's it. It's an honor to have you on the show.
No, it's a pleasure to be here.
It's really amazing, and I'm looking forward to just hearing more from you about what you do and how you've accomplished what you have accomplished so far. Because I believe that your voice has got something to say, and there are so many people waiting to hear from you in regards to getting it done, in regards to becoming, in regards to the process, you know, because our generation right now, they need us to rise up, and I feel like you're just part of that army that's rising up to just help, encourage, inspire, educate our generation. So please introduce yourself.
That's a lot. Thank you. That's very kind, honestly. Very humbled by that, honestly. What do I do? So I do a couple of different things. You kind of mentioned businesses there. I ran something called the Common Sense Network, which is a news network. The mainstream media is broken, and what we're trying to do is fix it. So we've got a news network that's powered by young people. It's for young people. And what we do is we bring people out of what's called echo chambers. So we may talk about that later. I look after something called our God-given mission. OGGM is what we call it. It's a Christian charity. We train up missionaries. We spread the gospel. We preach the gospel wherever we can. I run something called the Apex Group, which is a secret group. Everyone loves. It's a secret group of CEOs and founders where we share best practices. What I realized is, if Caucasians can meet up in private and share best practices, then why can't people of color? Why do we have this kind of crab mentality? We've got to tear people down. So I'm big on helping businesses find businesses, businesses find customers, whatever. So we do that with the Apex Group, and I'm a part of other little projects here and there as well.
So when do you meet with the Avengers?
That's a good one. If I told you, I'd have to. I'm joking, but
Amazing. Like this is that's a mouthful, handful. Your life is busy. Your life.
I used to always be like, oh no, it's nothing. It's a lot. Let me just be frank. I've kind of accepted it's a lot. However, when you've got I think one of you guessed it earlier, when you've got kind of a deep sense of purpose and you know you are doing what you were created to do, there's a certain joy that kind of exudes from you. Like you can't put into words, but it kind of energizes me. Yesterday I had a good, I think 6 events I was at yesterday, but I was energized. This is my second gig today. Got a few more later. Again, I'm energized. So that's the key thing. I think once you find that thing that is, okay, this is what I do, you just
go for it.
Wow.
That's impressive. I was researching into you, of course, looking
don't
into
do that.
Mike, you know where it came from, you know, and I've seen you've done so much. You didn't start yesterday.
No.
And I think that's where the problem is with our generation. We see what you're doing now, and I'm like, I want to be like Mike, and I'm trying to do what Mike is doing. But when you look at the timeline, Mike started a while back. You've tried.
12.
And that's what I'm saying. You've been in so many, even the government. I've seen you, the House of so many things. Can you talk to us about where you came from to where you are now? Because I feel like that is very important. The process.
Depends where you start, man. I mean, 13 is one kind of checkpoint. If you go way back, Nigeria is another checkpoint.
Oh my
So I grew up in Nigeria for 5 years. Then I came to the UK. So Lewisham, Lewisham Shopping Centre. I lived there. But I mean, it's not bore people for all those details. So just kind of skip to 13. I joined what's called the youth council in my school. It's like the student council. And the reason I joined is because no one put their hand up. So the teacher came in and said, "We need people to join the youth council." I was like, "I'm not joining the youth council. What the hell? I went to boys only school." I was like, "No."
I want to do that.
But then no one put their hand up. I was like, "It's getting long." Okay, I said, "I'll do it." So I joined the youth council. We sat together, and then they were like, "Oh, you know, we need to decide the color of the boys' toilets, you know, at the time." So I was like, it should be blue. You know, and then we had a big debate about it, you know, and I was like, it must be blue. Anyways, left that debate. 2 weeks after, I'm in the boys' toilet using, not 2 weeks, 2 months after, I'm in the boys' toilet using the toilets. And I look up, and I'm kind of like, the walls are blue. And literally, it really blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, the walls are, the chat we had actually led to something being done. And I got the first taste of like change, and that was like a drag to me. I was like, okay, what else can I join? I joined the local council. I became deputy chair of the local council. I was a member of youth parliament. I was a UK young ambassador to the European Union for 18 months. I worked in Europe. I worked within the cabinet office. I worked in the national working group. I worked with Chorus, British Council, like anything to do with change. I was like,
I want to be part of it.
So that's where it started, and that's the nice successes. But God knows there's lots of things you don't change, things that fail. But ultimately, sometimes people see the people think your life started with your first Instagram post, and that's not true.
No.
Or people think your life started when they saw you on TV. That's equally not true. There are lots of stuff behind, which is why I appreciate what you guys are doing to highlight the story. A friend told me once, and it blew my mind. She said, we need more real models, not role models.
Woo!
Hey,
when she said that, my head, because she was like, we don't need role models, we need real people that will say, okay,
real
listen,
models.
today was hard and I did not have the energy. No, rather than I ever this, I did that. That's not real. That's not real.
Wait, I'm gonna have to repeat that because that's gonna be on my Instagram later tonight, guys. We need real models, not role models. Just let that sink in. Because we have so many people that call themselves influencers these days. And ask, what are you influencing? What type of influence do you have? Because everybody wants to be an influence. It's a term that's so used lightly these days. The fact that you just said that, I'm sure people are questioning themselves right now.
Of course, there's influencer thing is interesting. I don't know what you guys feel about it. For me, because here's the thing, like it's really weird because if you think about back in the days, I say this like I'm 90, but if you think about back in the days, Bill Gates was famous because he created Microsoft. Right? Microsoft made him famous. The successes he had with Microsoft made him famous. Lots of other people. Now we have people who want to be famous for being famous, and that's a really weird thing. Before, like your success brought you fame, as it were. Your success brought you notoriety. Now it's people want the kind of the residue, if you like, of the actual thing rather than the actual thing itself. So I have people who have Instagram pages, who are like fitness, whatever, and they're more interested in their page looking lively than actually having a lively business. So it's really weird. Like it's a really weird thing.
He's touching on something.
No, listen. I'm not a shade guy. I just say what I think.
It's not shade. It's truth. It's not shade.
I've been at a party, where like, there's like something like 20 people there. So let's just say the party didn't work out. But the people are grabbing the fun and they're like, what? I'm like, guys, why don't we direct our effort or our energy into making the party better next time rather than giving the people that were going up? It was the best part. It wasn't the best part. It wasn't the best part. It was the best part I've ever been to. So sick. And like, it's this weird thing we have of how things look rather than what things are. And that's my kind of thing.
You know what? By the end of this session, I'm gonna have so many quotes. My Instagram from tomorrow is gonna be banging with quotes.
Listen,
do you understand?
Let's not get it twisted. I'm first to point at myself on this because I don't think it's like, oh, everyone's doing it wrong. No, we all have this thing in us where we want to grow faster than we should. We want to fly before we can walk. And I have to kind of temper myself. This is what mentors are good for. Like I have to kind of always check myself. Like, Mike, slow down. You're this age. Slow down. You're from this back, like slow down. Don't be too kind of like, I need to be, no, slow down, grow.
And that pressure is really bad. And that will bring me to my next topic, that pressure that, sometimes we feel the need, I need to have this already by this age. We've got the age pressure, we've got, oh my God, I don't, money. There's so many pressures, especially with the social media, showing us that the end result, we are under pressure. And that's leading a lot of people into depression, having anxiety, having panic attacks. But the thing, what I've realized is this, our community don't talk about that. We don't talk about the mental health issues. We know how to open the rag, sweep it under, and then put the rag down and keep going. And another thing is, even in our families, what happens in this house stays in this house. Don't talk about what you go through. That's the family we come from, but now we are faced with people that go through mental health issues. And I know you've talked on this, and I know we can go on about this topic, but I just want to briefly touch on it, because I feel like we need to start having the conversation. We're opening the platform for the conversation.
Well, that's good. Like I agree with you doing that so much. And it's a lot of people were shocked when I put online that I struggled with anxiety, because I was like, I am, and my ex she can vouch for this. Or if she's watching, I don't know. She's still trying to tear me down a little. Commenting anonymously. He's a fake. He's a fraud. Anyways, no. I am one of the most kind of facts-driven, logical, Like I'm better now. Like I'm a bit more emotionally intelligent now. Before I was emotionally retarded. I just didn't get. I don't be crying. I'd be like, what? I just didn't get this. So when I said that I struggled with it, everyone was like, "What? Like that's an emotional thing." It's like, no, it's not. You know, the biggest chimera to kind of debunk with mental health is, you know, like any health, you can have good mental health or bad. It's a spectrum.
So
it's like health. It's good health or bad health. Rather than see it as a disease, like you have mental health. It's like no, you know, you can't have mental health. It's just something you got to talk about. And one of the good things, and I don't care how tough a guy you are. I'm probably one of the most I don't talk about anything guy I know. It really helps to get things out. To share things, you know, they say a problem shared is a problem halved, right?
Yes.
And sometimes just the act of sharing something with someone really makes things different. So with me with anxiety, you know, it was something that like I said, I struggled with for a bit. I just mainly because I like controlling and just being. So when I don't have control of things, my head just starts to kind of get, you know, when I'm speaking to someone, I'm thinking, how are they getting me the way I want to be perceived? And I start thinking all these different things, and it becomes like, you know, depression is habitual worry, and when you kind of make a habit of always worrying, am I being perceived right? So I just learned to stop focusing on things I can't control and to focus on things I can control, which are essentially what's coming out my mouth. What I believe, my heart, like that's what I focus on. Just giving out what's in me, and what you people think, that's for you to work out. You know, and that's the one step for me. But you're right, we need to have the conversation.
That's amazing.
I mean, like you said something that you need to have the conversation, but you can't have the conversation with just anybody.
That's true.
So how did you get to the place where you felt comfortable in, you know, in sharing such information? Because I get it. I want to talk about it. I know, like I want to open up, but I don't think I can trust.
I did it in the public platform because I like privately I'm good. I've got some amazing friends. You know, me. If we have friends, if I know your friends, you'll know. Like I'm not.
There's no secret
There's
about
no
that.
kind of oh my god, you know. You're like, are you clear? And I'm like, yeah. No, kind of. Anyway, so I've got good friends, and I know God. I spend a lot of time with God, and you know, there's a saying again that if you can kneel before God, you can stand before anyone. So privately in my prayer closet, we're gonna call it, like I'm dealing with these issues. I'm crying. I'm sharing. Like I'm pouring my heart out before God, and then my friends provide for me an immediate context where they again corroborate what I learned from God. So by the time I speak to people, it's like people are those are people. You're so confident. I'm like, I don't. You're all just heads to me. God has approved. I've got friends, family. So I was able to find immediate safety in God initially, and then family, which then made it easier for me to speak to other people. So I guess, you know, I want to advise people and say, well, listen, if you're struggling to talk about stuff, start with the people who love you the most. And typically, those are people who stuck around you the most. And to a great degree, those are your family. So start there. It can be very, very difficult, but you need to have the conversation. And the pain or the pressure, whatever you want to call it, from that you'll feel, the pain rather, from sharing it, is nothing to be compared to the freedom and the joy and the peace you'll feel after. So that's the advice I would give. But ultimately, you know, there's not a one size fits all policy. So I don't want to be this. I'm not the mental health guru. Like the way I'm just saying this is what works for me, and hopefully it works for somebody else.
Amazing. For me, I second that, the talking part. Because when I was going through my divorce, I know I'm 27 and I'm already life different to everybody else, but I spoke. I opened up. And it helped. But I'm not the type of woman that tends to open up and speak. So I get that, you know, we can withhold things and it eats you up. And that's how it produces bitterness, you know, and then you become this angry person and you can't express yourself. So we are encouraging.
Should I say something that changed my life, funny enough? It's very tiny. I was with a mentor of mine who was trying to tell me about opening up. And he was like clench your fist and squeeze it really hard. And I was doing that. And I said, carry on going. I was doing it. And said that release. And I was like, how does that feel? And I was like, oh, it feels great. It was like, that's what happens when you take stuff and you internalize it. And you just kind of self-harm yourself. You just pressure yourself. When really, if you just let go, that same feeling can be superimposed into reality such that your life becomes, you know, just a free life where you're like, oh my God, that toxicity is gone. You know, so sometimes when I'm feeling, should I share? I do that. Then I'm like, I'm gonna share, and I share it, and that's one thing.
So every time I see my doing this, I'm getting my camera and my microphone. It's about to open up. When I see you claim, I know now what the sign is.
Definitely. I think I wanted to ask as well. You know, as you know, us men, us very good-looking men, like ourselves, it's very tough for us.
It can be.
And I want to know, in terms of, you know, your faith and you love God and whatnot. How is that come into play in terms of what the world wants and what God wants? Because we are not of this world.
Okay, come on now. Great question. I think people probably think it's harder than it is. For me, the reason why a lot of people struggle is because they do things prematurely. So put it this way. So like in the Songs of Solomon 8:4 speaks about love and says, "Promise me, O Jerusalem, not to awaken love until it's time." Now it's about love. That scripture, but essentially,
what did you say?
It says, "Promise me, O Jerusalem, not to awaken love until it's time." There's nothing worse than doing something at the wrong time.
Seriously,
I
was reading the other day actually.
Yes. So timing is everything. So a lot of people who struggle, the pressures of the world, you're probably out of your depth. Take a step back, retreat, go back to the word, spend some time alone and really figure out who you are, what you're about, who and whose you are. And once you figure that out, you're then empowered to go out into the world. So if I use myself as an example, when I was young, I was doing everything. Like I said, I was the guy, volunteer all the time, right? It wasn't until like a couple of years ago, so about 5 or 6, where I really spent time away. I went on a mission trip. I got to kind of understand myself a bit more. And that I came to understand exactly what I'm put on this earth to do, and that's quite simple. It's to build. I'm a builder. In the Bible, that's an apostolic ministry. I don't believe in apostles today, so that's that. But away from that, but that's the thing. But that is my ministry. So I enjoy building up people. I mentor a group of something like 22 lads. I love building organizations. I help friends. Like that's what I'm into. That's what I do, right? So irrespective of what the world has to offer me, because bear in mind the world changes trends every day.
Very true.
Black people are in trend right now, so we're doing very well. Give it a couple of years when the emails come back. Before you know it, there'll be one switch, right? But ultimately, my point is, once you know who and whose you are, again, it's just much easier. So I don't really find the duality and the dichotomy to be like, it must be so hard. I'm like, no, I'm kind of clear on who I am and what I need to do. I'm just doing it. And I think like that's it. Of course there's issues, of course there's problems, but then I just revisit my why. I revisit why I'm doing it. I revisit who commissioned me, why you commissioned me, and then it's like, it's kind of easy.
I feel like I want to go to church right now.
Stop it! I'm not.
He has me holding on to my chair. I'm like, I start shouting right now? You've got this thing about you.
Hey, so have you? Look at the person that's talking. You all have things about you. Let's be frank about this.
It's incredible. Like I love your confidence. I'm listening to you talk, and I'm just imagining the guy that was suffering from anxiety. And I'm seeing you now, and imagining the kid that was raising his hand saying, "I'll change the toilets to you," and I'm seeing you now. And I didn't know you then, but I can just imagine the journey. And the process and the failures you had to encounter to become the Mike we see today. And we get a lot of questions about people saying, it looks hard and I'm afraid to fail. And I'm sure you failed so many times.
Oh yeah.
Can you just tell us about a time where you faced a moment in your life where you failed and you wanted to give up, but you pushed through? Okay. And what was going on in here? How did you manage to rise up and keep going in the moment where failure was like, come to me?
Yeah, we've got to talk about failure more, man. Like that's such a good question. We have to talk about failure more.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest ones I can remember, so when I was young in year 10, that's when I met my girlfriend actually. But in year 10, I need to chill. This has become one different episode.
Changing the questions.
The weather outside. Everything is coalescing to
before you go on, so you met your girlfriend, is she like?
No, she's gone. She doesn't exist.
Also, she's alive.
She's alive. I am definitely single. I am single. Let's be clear about that.
No, what by definitely single means there's no.
There's nothing. There's no strings. They're stringless. Like
you heard it
here.
Reason,
it just came to my mind.
Ladies.
In year 10, so here's what happened in year 10. I got involved in a public speaking competition called Jack Petty Speak Out Challenge. Some of the people in London may know it. It's like this kind of popular speaking thing. They basically all the talkative kids in school, they'd be like, okay, go and do that. Go and enjoy this thing. So I did that, and there's lots of stages. Anyways, through just lots and lots of different things. So for instance, I was selected to be like the deputy. Or like the reserve speaker for the okay, I should probably explain it properly. You start off with a workshop, then you have to speak in front of your school, and then they pick the 3 best to then go on to the borough final. So from the start, unfortunately, I was like second place, so they were like, you always be reserved. So anyways, the day of the assembly one, the guy who was meant to speak was sick, so I became the main speaker. So I spoke, and I happened to do well. I won that one. And then it was time for the borough final, which is a big one. So a couple of stages before that, but it's the big one. Now, I was a reserve speaker. Yeah. And so they were like, don't prepare, you won't be speaking, kind of thing. But then, for some reason, I just prepared. I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit, I don't know if it was, I was preparing for this different. Anyways, we get there now to the day, and obviously we just come to support. And then the organizer comes and he says, by the way, there's crazy traffic in the borough. A lot of the main speakers can't make it. So reserve speakers, you're going to be speaking today. She was looking for this, was like, Michael, you can go first, you know. She just said, like, Michael, go first. Yeah. In my head, I was like, I'll go first.
Already?
You don't know I've been preparing. Anyways, I went first. I won that competition, which was crazy. Wow. Which then meant I went to the grand final, which is the kind of the national one, the big one. Now come on here, the way people have been gassing, Michael, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. I was hearing it everywhere. The news, one local news was like, Michael, local champion. I was like, yo. Anyways, I get there, and again, like, you're speaking first, and I was like, okay, cool. God's about to do some massive testing because the prize is £5,000. Wow. When you're in year 10, that's
that's a lot.
My life would change. Just like, no, you're able to pay your bills for a couple of months. Chill out, kind of thing. Anyways, I speak first. I give an amazing speech in my eye in terms of what everyone tells me, and they start reading out the winners. And at the end, the winner is X. I don't even know his name, but they didn't say Michael Omoniyics, and that crushed me because before that I've had months of expectation. I'm gonna win. Yes. I'm gonna win, and I'm getting to public speaking. I'm hearing so much. My girlfriend's telling me, you're gonna win. Everyone's like, you're gonna win, and I failed. And it was like the biggest failure because the confetti even came up when the guy won. So the confetti was landing on my head. I was just like, I was like,
standing there watching.
But you know, and it was really, really hard. And I know for a lot of people they may think it's not that deep, but for me, it was a really hard, like someone stabbed me in the chest moment. I remember lying down in bed that night, and like my mom was like, "I'm still proud of you," kind of thing. But I was lying down and I was like I am so angry. Like I am really, really angry. And you know, I'm not one of those like speaky Pentecostal people. But I remember at that stage almost hearing a voice or like feeling an impression that was like, you know, it's how you handle this that's gonna really determine the trajectory of like what you do. That's what, like, how are you gonna handle this? Now, I have a background playing sports, so low-key that can help you as well. But that's what I like, how you handle that moment will determine how you kind of the trajectory of your life. And I picked myself back up. You know, I ended up, you know, I emailed them. I was like, I'm still interested in working with you guys. This is the organization. Guess what? They picked me on board. I started speaking with Toastmasters. I spoke in front of the president of Toastmasters. Like I've judged competitions. And 6 years after, they invited me to be a grand final judge in the same competition. And since then, I've learned success is about moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. That's the key thing. That's it.
I'm getting the chills.
Yeah, you gotta fail and fail, but not lose enthusiasm. Like you gotta. Amazing. If I talk about TCS,
That's amazing.
fail so much, but you don't lose enthusiasm. You keep on going.
That's it. Keep on going. Use my name, Perseverance.
Hey.
Yes. Hey. Yes. I got a punchline, guys. I managed to use my name.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow. That's the word that's coming out. Wow. Like honestly, I'm not impressed, actually. No, that's the wrong term. I am encouraged.
Yes, that's good.
I'm encouraged by what you've said, and I can't wait to go home and just sit in this moment and really go back and just really hear you again say all these things so I can use it, because it's pointless you saying this and people don't use the tools you've given them. So to whoever's watching, please, I hope you've got your notebook, because he was dropping germs there. And I'm telling you, just dropping diamonds. Diamonds, you know. But honestly, we could have you on the show for hours and hours.
I know, we gotta go.
But we want them to know who Mike is, and we're gonna be bringing you back, because we need to have more of this conversation and go into detail about them. But before you go, I need to ask, how are you juggling this, my friend? This lifestyle of yours, like, if I make this disclaimer, guys, he's come all the way from Manchester to be on this show, and we're in London. Yeah.
When I believe in something, I believe in it. And I think what you're doing is highlighting the middle of the journey, which is what we talk about more. Everyone talks about getting there and starting, but the middle we don't talk about. Yeah. In terms of juggling, it's actually pretty kind of straightforward. I mean, I'm funny enough to do the masterclass tomorrow about discipline. The key thing is discipline. The key to success is having discipline. One has to be very, 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 very stringent with time.
Wow.
Time, there's enough time in the day to do anything you want to do. The key thing is, are you willing to make the sacrifices? I think you spoke about it earlier.
Yeah.
And to make the sacrifices, you have to have a vision that's worth kind of sacrificing for. Here's what, I'll just drop like 2 scriptures or so.
Yeah.
Proverbs 29 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But happy is he that keepeth the law.
Yeah.
Hebrews 12, which typically is known as the kind of the discipline chapter, says that all discipline is painful for the moment, but he that gives himself over to being trained by it, his is a plentiful harvest of righteousness. Saying that, you know, you need to be able to keep laws, i.e., here's my daily plan. You've got to learn how to keep that. If you don't learn how to keep that, you will stay at the same level forever. So I'm learning now. Like, I'm not the busiest guy in the world. Like, I have a mentor he's a global head of citizenship at KPMG. He's a member of the House of Lords. He's a second chancellor of Regent's University. I mean, this guy, he flies around the country every month. So he can do it. He's older than me, and I even have more energy than him, right? So, but the key thing is to have the discipline and to have the vision, to have something worth sacrificing for, and when it comes time to it, to be willing to make the sacrifice.
Wow. That's Mike, guys. This is him. Honestly, I've been inspired, I've been encouraged, and I hope you were too. And don't worry, we'll be bringing him back. I know you guys are saying more, but no, next time we'll bring him back. Honestly, thank you. It's an honor to have you on the show. Honestly, we are grateful for your time.
Thank you.
Grateful for the information you've shared, and we look forward to to hearing more and seeing more from you as well. And of course, you've got your business; they're going to grow. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Mike is going to produce. Because there is a great mission out there for you, and we are supporting you.
Definitely.
And we're loving what you're doing.
Thank you.
When you come back,
thank you, guys.
Do you have sisters?
They're both happily married, but there you go.
That's what
You're happy with them?
I was just looking out for them.
And there we have it, guys. That's the How Did You Get This show. I'm Percy.
I'm Joab.
Thank you so much for joining. And this is Mike. Thank you for being on this show. Honestly, thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.